or is he just really this aggressive with everything that he's got on the board? Anyway, here he is, I believe still teamless red Terran in the top left side from Korea, the ever so aggressive Bunny.
He's already got an SCV out on the map. Ladies and gentlemen, bottom right hand corner, El Capitan, it is Harstem.
Shoot. I had to cough right when we were doing that. I tried to still press the right buttons to zoom in, and then I just pressed the wrong button. Anyway, there he is. That's fine. It's bound to happen at least once, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, Bunny.
It's only one barracks here, but ooh, double gas. Ooh.
Yep. It's very interesting. So should just be Reaper here from Bunny into a fast factory. Off one base. I love Bunny's PvT because he's always so creative with his build orders. I mean, this is the guy who started doing one base Thor rushes against Protoss in the GSL, no less, and winning games with it. So, no one does it quite like Bunny when it comes to the crazy stuff that he can bring. So I'm very, very excited to see what he does here against Harstem, who is, I think, a much more standard player. And that's, I think, especially where Bunny really shines, is when he's the one that's allowed to dictate the pace. And look at this, we're starting off with Concussive Shell Marauders, because why not?
Why not? Yeah, let's try to get a bunker here, perhaps as well, with this SCV, or what is his overall plan? Going up onto the high ground, looking around, and sees that, well, it's going to be a while before a Cybercore is here.
Yep.
As it was most likely a Nexus first for Harstem, as Harstem is going to face the fury of those Marauder conclusive shells. This could be scary, right? This could be quite scary. Yeah. Harstem's not been across the map at all, and he's just going along his happy day, assuming that he's going to be facing off against potentially one Reaper in the future, oncoming minutes or two. Yep, that could be terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Stargate too, and it's so hard to hold these kind of pressures when you're going for a Stargate because you're also cutting your warp gate. If this Adept finishes the Shade, this could be disastrous. The Adept's going across the net. Bunny has timed this out so well. Is now going to be coming on in, and that's going to be a pylon going down. Harstem now realizes what's going on, and he might just keep sending that Adept across the map. I don't think there's any reason to keep it home, but there's also a Hellion that's going to be joining up with this as a bunker goes down. And I think Bunny, I mean, he's going to be happy with just knocking down that natural base Nexus if he doesn't find damage in the main.
Adept now trying to make his comeback. This other Adept in the main base is going to get shot down.
Oh, this Hellion.
You can't surround with the probes because of that Hellion. That Hellion is so valuable here. As long as he keeps that alive, I mean, the probes can't give chase to the Marauders and try to go for the surround, which is normally how you kind of deal with this.
Yeah, look at the micro here from Bunny pulling it back. So good. Finally, the Hellion's going to go down, but now we can start to one-shot these probes that have been weakened up already. A second Hellion joins in. And, hey, a Void Ray has been produced, but, I mean, the natural base is going to now be under fire. Bunker is there. And behind this, I mean, Bunny's perfectly happy to just kind of macro up on one base. He's got, the Cyclones that he can produce. He's got a Viking on the way already. He's definitely found the damage.
Yeah, Harstem here now 21 workers versus the 24, but Harstem does have a second base here. I don't dislike his odds. He is gonna get an Oracle. What's up?
Proxy Starport. I just realized Bunny also proxying the Starport. Yeah, this is peak Bunny right now in this matchup. He absolutely knows what he wants to do. Cyclone is on the way. More and more Vikings. And he's just gonna go for take two on this. Says, listen, yeah, now I got a Viking. I'm gonna have a Cyclone. I'm just gonna go for it again. I have a command center behind this. It's just so much aggression coming through right now from Bunny. And there's just Harstem, the build order, like, it was just a build order lost straight up as this Viking is gonna be able to micro against the Vikings, start to knock it down, but not before it does get a lot of damage onto these Marauders. The lock-on is just good enough. And Harstem actually knocking down that Viking is huge, especially with the Cyclone not yet across the map. Bunny knocking down the Stalker, finding more and more probe damage. Now the Cyclone is here. Now the Void Ray falls, and Bunny, with just the non-stop aggression, picks up game one, and he is coming into this tournament with a fury.
Quite the aggressive man indeed, like we said. That is what's going to be happening here. Game number 2 already being loaded up. It looks like fantastic stuff. No time to diddy-daddle. Exactly. I mean, that was so aggressive though. Like, I'm surprised he didn't proxy the factory, but it's like he knew, like he had a vision from the future. There's gonna be an oracle involved as well, so I need at least one cyclone at home to avoid catastrophe on that front, and he did it wonderfully well. Really, really impressive stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is I think this is the Bunny that we all wanted to see coming into this tournament. We know that he can play these incredibly aggressive strategies, this constant multi-pronged attacks, and even in the mid game. And that's what we wanted to see, and it feels like that's what we're getting. Is, ladies and gentlemen, the top right-hand corner of Inside and Out. I don't believe he's dropped a game yet. Of course, not officially on a team, but still a part of the clan Team NV. It is Bunny.
His opponents in the bottom left side, a blue Protoss fighting for Shopify Rebellion. El Capitan, it is Harstem.
Sorry, Bunny did lose one game to Reaper.
Ridiculous. Right. Of course against
Reaper.
Now, only one person more aggressive than Bunny.
The only way to beat Bunny is to be more cheesy.
Again, a double gas here for Bunny. I mean, it's helping him out. It's a kind of a newer approach. I don't want to say fully new. It's been around now for a while, it feels like, but kind of being the flag being carried by players like Bjorn, and now Bunny just going for these one base. I've seen Maru do it as well, actually.
I mean, I'm just gonna say this right now. Here's the thought process. I'm in Bunny's head right now. All right,
Okay.
I'm linked into the matrix. I can see the numbers. I can see the calculations.
Okay.
But except in Bunny's head, there's no calculations.
Right.
It's just one word, and that word is Thor.
Thor, really? You think no?
I think he might.
No.
I don't know. Anyway,
Really?
I want to see it. I want to see it. Because mind you, Inside and Out is still a pretty small map. It's a little bit bigger than someone like Waterfall, and of course bigger than Moondance, which is I think why we saw Bunny go for that aggressive build. But it's still the third smallest map.
I've seen
this
him
map
do
pool
it
in terms of
before.
rush distance.
Yeah. I mean, it is Bunny. It is Bunny.
But with that being said, there is a reactor coming down onto the barracks that looks like an SCV going to take a second base. So we might not see the Thors in this game, but still, everyone be excited for that in the future. Anyway, yeah, Bunny, I don't think he's going to let up on this aggression. Absolutely not. That's not really his style, especially, as I said, against a player like Harstem. It's a tech lab!
Yeah.
I'm
No
holding
armory
hope.
just yet, though, so... You do still need an armory, right, for Thors?
Yeah. You do.
Yeah, okay. Just
And I think
double check.
usually he does it off of one base. So I think that more than likely this is just going to be a Cyclone opener. This is something akin to what we see Beyond do. Of course, Beyond does it without the Reaper to get that faster factory. And then he goes into 2 Cyclones. So we'll see what Bunny's take on this build is. But as I said, I feel like the aggression especially, and these kind of, even if it's not an all-in, like we saw in that last game. I mean, even in that last game, Bunny actually was preparing a transition, but you still, I think this aggression, that aggressive play really does well against a player like Harstem, who's going to play a more straight-up macro game, because that means that Bunny can really be the one dictating the pace of the game and kind of deciding where the focus of it is going to be.
Yeah, Bunny just trying to be sure nothing is going to catch him off guard here on this, at least the left side of the map. Did a little bit of scouting on the right side as well earlier on, but something else could be coming across. Instead, the Phoenix Scout is going to be flying straight through the middle. And, yep, okay, turns around in time. That's actually a nice lineup of Marines that it were Harstem not to pay attention for just a second, right? That could be a lot of damage, or even a potentially dead Phoenix.
Bunny does now know, though, that this is, in fact, actually Phoenix production out of Harstem. And I find this is interesting, is hiding the Siege Tank all the way at the back of his base is now going back into Viking and Cyclone production. And so I'm interested, are we going to see Bunny do some sort of a timing attack here with just the Cyclones, the Marines, like some Vikings, and then this one tank to back it up? It could be a really interesting way to get an early attack off against the Phoenix that kind of negate that early game advantage that they usually have.
I really like that idea. Yeah, I hope, you know what? I hope that happens, Titan, and I really do. And it looks like it might, yeah. Oh yeah, here he goes.
Yep.
Okay.
Money man.
3 Phoenix available, 3 adapts. That is not that many against the 14 Marines right now. There's going to be an Immortal as well, but I mean, without there being a lot of siege tanks here. Maybe Harstem just kind of anticipating, you know, Bunny. It's Bunny. He's going to make a lot of siege tanks and come for me. But instead, it's the Cyclones here.
Yeah, knocks down that shield off the Immortal. Is going to get a lot of energy off the shield. But that lock-on, actually. Yeah, scan is the only thing stopping it. As there have been... Oh, I love this. This is such an old-school style build with the bunkers as well. You know, this is what we saw back when the 3-tank timing attacks with bunkers were so popular against Protoss. Bunny kind of bringing it back, snipes the robotics facility. It was out in the front. And there's no more Immortals. That is massive here for Bunny, as now he's going to look to knock down this pylon. The Vikings giving vision. And there's really not much Harstem can do right now. The Phoenix, they are picking off... Oh, they barely don't get that medevac, but they're picking off reinforcements. And that's just about all that they can do. If they can keep getting tanks, then it's absolutely... The most value that he can get is if he just continues to try and pick off tanks. Because just with the one tank, it makes it really hard for Bunny to push up this ramp.
Bunny gets that robotics bay as well. That would be quite something. The Phoenix did let another tank through. Right, yep, there's the medevac now. So that is unfortunate. Makes this even harder of a situation right now for Harstem. He has managed to get a probe through and he's building that 3rd base. I don't think... okay, Bunny does know there's a pylon there.
So close to sniping off that Immortal. I mean, we're going to see the lock-on now. Immediately forces the shield battery overcharge. And these tanks are continuing to push on forward. Robotic space is going to go down.
There we go. Okay, sorry, I panicked that for him.
Yeah. But Bunny, he's just still managing this so well. The lock-ons come through. The tank splash damage is just shredding through Harstem's army. And you have the bunkers here protecting the tanks at the same time. And behind this, it's you know, it's additional barracks. Bunny's actually going up to 3 racks with Stim. He's preparing for a bio follow-up, and now bunkers on the high ground. Might be a little bit aggressive. I don't think they're actually in range of the tanks, but the shield battery's out of energy. You know, there's nothing left here to help Harstem with this hold. The Phoenix, they're trying their best. There's a lot of Phoenix now, 8 of them. Is it going to be enough, though? As here we go, Harstem wants to dive on top of that tank, but he just can't.
And if he manages to clean this up right now, he could still be in a good position, but he needs to watch out not to lose too many probes. All this Nexus. And there comes the
here we go.
Tank. The tanks.
Yeah, both lifted
too many
up.
Marines, however.
Cyclone also going to get lifted up. The tank is not quite going down. Disruptor shot. Oh, gets a few of the Marines. Not a lot of them, though. As the Immortal now trying to focus down the tank. The tank is going to fall, but the Immortal is low. The shield battery is just barely going to heal it up. The shield battery overcharge is now popped. And Harstem just barely holding on.
That feels really good for Harstem here. Just a bit more coming in as well. The medevacs trying to get shot down already. A little bit low on the HP. Both of them now. So Bunny needs to stay on his tippy toes. Ooh, another disruptor shot. There we go. This is starting to become scary now. Immortals being moved in immediately, ready to take that down.
3rd base is under fire. Bunny has shifted some Marines up here. Mind you, Harstem has not been able to mine off of it, but... Oh, Stim in. Actually, Stim is done here for Bunny. That makes it so much harder for Harstem now, as he needs to push down the ramp into this tank, into that bunker, deal with the Stim. As Bunny is just trying to find as much value as he can off of this 2-base situation. His command center is on the way, but it's not ready just yet.
Like this, bring the Phoenix back. Take out those medevacs, trying to really disturb the amount that the Marines can do on this side of the field. Bunny, you know what, he is making a 3rd base, realizing, you know what, this is going to go on a little bit longer.
Yeah. Look at this. Actually, ship weapons, level 1 coming through for Harstem as he's just continuing on the Phoenix production. Very, very interesting. Forge also on the way, but the 3rd base is now saturated as Harstem, mind you, behind all this, he actually didn't lose workers. He was continually producing probes up to 66, didn't lose any. Is now on 3-base saturation. Harstem can start to regain his position in this game. Constant Colossus production because he knows that he has the Phoenix to protect them. And Harstem, he survived. He held on. against what felt like all odds, as Bunny was looking to push that to a win. And now suddenly he's in a much better position.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how Harstem managed to buy that much time. Gotta be careful with those Phoenix here. Losing one of them, almost losing two. That is...
Oh my god!
Dear. Yep, that just happens. That's a lot of bio going down, and suddenly Bunny... I'm not sure if he's ready for another push.
Yeah, that was... not... I mean, Bunny... Oh my god, 3-ace Fleet Beacon from Harstem. He's just going straight into carriers off of this.
I like it. I like it, with especially with the weapons upgrade for the air units already coming in. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but you know what? I love it. I like seeing it.
I mean, really, I think what Harstem is trying to do is he's trying to negate the strength of Bunny's mid-game. He knows that Bunny is so good when it comes to this stage of the game where Terrans can get drops out on the map, get multi-pronged pressure. And so instead, you don't really play to that. You don't wait to take your 4th base and let Bunny pick you apart. You sit on 3 bases, this economy that's going to be better than the Terrans for a little bit, for at least a little while more. And you start to get into your carriers, you start to get into this heavy tech units. What? It's Phoenix
just
range.
for Phoenix range. Okay.
Oh my. This is so cool.
All right.
I mean, yeah, I've never seen anything like this. As the Phoenix is diving on in, they're going to snipe off all of those Marines.
And Harstem is just... as well, perhaps. Ooh, it's getting close.
Yeah, Harstem is just doubling in here. Not even on carriers, just saying, listen, I think the Phoenix could do the job. And, I mean, well, right now he already has 9. He's going to go up to 11. Going to keep, keep increasing that amount. And, I mean, until Bunny gets... until Bunny gets Thors, or at least maybe even Widow Mines actually aren't going to be the best because Phoenix can drag those shots onto the bio. So until you get Thors out, you really don't have a consistent answer of splash damage to this big Phoenix ball.
Yeah, you could try to make a transition into a reactor on your factory. Maybe go for like Widow Mines or something like that, but even that, it could just lead to a whole bunch of splash damage on top of your own Marines as well if you're not careful.
But 4th base coming down here for Bunny is going to be in pretty similar time to that of the Protoss. Also has his upgrades coming through, ship weapons and ghosts. So Bunny is not slacking on getting his tech up at the same time. But yeah, it's carriers.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, it's just Harstem. He's just skipping the mid game. He says, no, I don't want to risk running this ground-based army composition into you because you could probably do well with that, and he knows that Bunny is good with that. Goes straight into the carriers. That forces this game artificially to go into higher tech, where Harstem probably feels a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, I like what he's doing here with just overall look at his vision as well. And then with the Phoenix, we've been talking about how aggressive Bunny is, and this clump of Phoenix is shutting down the aggression so much. Focusing on those medevacts in particular, the real tool for the Terran that allows the Terran to run across the map as quickly as they'd like to, just stimming and, really getting all that mobility everywhere. But you need the medevacs there to kind of support that play, and if they're gone, suddenly, Bunny's playstyle is going to, how do you call this? It's going to get crippled in a way.
I mean, look at this style that Harstem is bringing out. And this has been in every game that he has played. It's been this insanely heavy style where he's just focusing on getting these extremely efficient units. Look at this. Anion Pulse Crystals, Phoenix, dive into the 3rd, get 7 workers, going to dive into the main, get even more. Harstem is just, like, this style that he's bringing when he's able to play it is just absolutely insane. It's a good EMP there onto the Phoenix. The Vikings, I mean, they can try and chase this down, but there's so many.
Like, no, I can still take this. Oh, that's a lot of low HP Phoenix, but he gets out of there. 17 SCVs getting shot up by those Phoenix as well. And the trade efficiency, unit source tab, looking quite nice for Harstem. There are those carriers with Colossi starting to approach the front door of Bunny. Is Bunny ready for something like this? I think he will be, right? It looks like he should be able to receive such an attack, at least through the middle. And the planetary fortress is there as well now. Harstem might still try.
Oh no, the tanks though. The positioning is good as the Biostim's back is going to start to try and clean up these interceptors. Another Disruptor Nova is actually not going to find connections as the broader Stim on forward trying to find some damage. The interceptors are all cleaned out. And Harstem not going to be able to push it just yet, but no, he's keeping on. He's going forward more.
It's like no gateway units here. It's robo units, it's Phoenix, it's carriers, it's no zealots, no stalkers, no adapt, nothing. Where is he spending all his minerals?
Yeah, I mean, it really is just 3 Stargates and a robotics facility right now for Harstem as well as upgrades. But Thors are now on the field. And again, Thors, while not a traditionally good unit in this matchup, mind you, they have the range to fight the carriers. They have the splash damage to fight the Phoenix, and they can't get picked up. As Disruption Novas go out, they snipe the Thor down. As the Interceptors, they try and get target fired, but they're not going to fall. As Bunny, it just feels like Harstem is running over him with this insanely tech-heavy style. And the all-in doesn't work. Harstem, he's going to tie it back up.
Well, well, well. Quite something there from Harstem, being able to get another victory there. Another game lost by Bunny. As suddenly he might just, well, actually, if Harstem wins this one, he did beat Sue as well. That might just, I think that just means Harstem is going to be on top of the group, isn't he?
Yeah, he would advance it first.
Yeah, yeah. And Bunny and Sue are going to have to go up against each other as well, most likely. And it's going to come down to those two if it falls out that way, of course. If Harstem loses this, are we going to get a rematch between Harstem and Sue?
Potentially. If Sue beats Patty Mac, then yes. But I mean, Sue's DVP, it didn't look stellar as Harstem forgot to switch his race, so we're not going to get into the next game just too soon. Man, Scarlet Petit Drogo is still going.
Yep.
Scarlet, I don't know what's up with Scarlet, but I feel like every single time, is it on Data C? It's on Data C again. Every time.
Yeah.
Every time, man, it goes so late. Both players are sitting at like almost 15,000 minerals. Anyway, that's insane. Go check that out.
I wonder if they picked that match seeing our game last that long and they're like, you know what, that seems pretty cool.
That's some good content.
Scarlet CVP. Yeah, let's do that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, game number 3 on Data C in the top right-hand corner. He made it work with the aggression in game 1. Game 2, unfortunately, it was held and he could not transition fast enough. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Bunny.
His opponent in the bottom left side is a blue Dutch Protoss fighting for Shopify Rebellion. It is Harstem. The man who at some point is going to have a whole year dedicated to him. Maybe this is the start. Who knows?
I mean, this new style that Harstem has been bringing out, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's like every player's like worst dream about Protoss is when you see 6 carriers, Colossus disruptors, and just everything, and all these high-tech units. And you're just like, how do I deal with this? And the answer is, if you're Maru, well, you're probably not going to. It's really hard. And so now that we're on to Data C, I think it's really going to become a question of, as Bunny, how do you answer this style? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Data C really a map that feels like it should lend itself to this type of play from Harstem. Again, a map where I imagine Phoenix should be pretty good at intercepting all sorts of things, and the overall size, right? The bigger a map, the more use you can get out of quick mobile units. The bigger the advantage is of having quick units. So yeah, I would love to see that Phoenix style kind of kicking up again.
I'm sure it will. I don't think Harstem would stray away from it on this map. In fact, I think if anything, this map is probably even better for it than the previous one, as the Reaper is going to scout around. And for Bunny, do you go to another 2-base timing attack? Do you go to a 2-base all-in? Do you go into a straight macro game? You know?
Yeah.
And, well, yeah, looks like macro. That's a very, very fast 3rd CC here for Bunny. Is just gonna say, listen, you played that last game so passive. I was the one who was aggressive. If you just do that again, I can play as greedy as I want. You know, even until those Phoenixes are out, because once the Phoenixes are out, I just get missile turrets, I SCV up. You know, I can turtle. You can even turtle and just kind of have your response. So I like this from Bunny. He's gonna handshake it, take it to the late game where Harstem clearly wants this to go, and is then gonna kind of take it from there. And it's gonna be interesting to see what the unit composition is going to be, because obviously when you see Maru play up against a style like that, you have so many spellcasters. He has his ghosts. I mean, I think he probably even includes Ravens into those compositions. You have, when you're playing against Skytoss, if you don't have battle cruisers, something like maybe Mass Viking, get Thors in there for the range and the splash damage potentially against Phoenix. So we'll have to see how Bunny decides to kind of navigate this composition, as it is going to be the Phoenix once again from Harstem. Bunny is going to be able to scout that out with the Reaper, so it has full information as to what's going on. Even saw the robotics facility. So, yep.
Yeah, I think he was anticipating this as well, though. It feels similar to me to a Zerg response to a lot of Phoenix, right? Where there was this moment where people were like, well, you know what, if you are up against all those Phoenix, why try to make units to kill the Phoenix and catch the Phoenix and that sort of stuff? You could also kind of combat it by just making so many SCVs or drones, right, as a Zerg, that you just kind of tank the losses of the SCVs as they fly in, right? You kind of zone them out a little bit later then. You have so many workers that it's going to be okay in the end. And yeah, I'm curious to see if that's going to work out a little bit similar here in the TVP that we're watching.
Phoenix now coming on in and try and delay that building factory. It's actually a 3 racks here from Bunny, which is of course slightly delayed. That's a whoa, 5 racks here from Bunny.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean he already has 3 bases, right? So.
Yeah, they're just going to go really heavy on this bio. And honestly, like 5 racks off 3 base, just constant pressure against a really tech-heavy style before there's significant splash damage out is really effective. Can be really, really efficient. And so, yeah, I mean, this is definitely an interesting kind of response here from Bunny. He's saying, yeah, I'm not even going to really worry about air units, because your Phoenix, if I'm just building Marines, are going to be that much less efficient. But here we go. Harstem already with Colossus out. This is exactly what he did in the last game. Did get a Disruptor first, but now we're just going to go straight into the Colossus. So it's really going to be a micro battle here for Bunny. He's pretty much going to be looking at Harstem's composition and saying, I'm just going to try and out-micro you with this attack.
He has a good shot at it. He's pretty good at the micro. Especially with getting some of those Marauders in. Going to be able to shoot down the Colossi with those, hopefully for him. Otherwise, Harstem here still preoccupied with the Phoenix. Getting a couple of SCVs once again. Actually, was that just one SCV? I think there may have just been one.
Yeah, just one.
Just one. That's fine. That's 2 in total. There's 2 less SCVs in the world, you know. It's something. Yeah, but Harstem, other than that, right, he's not making a very quick 4th or anything after seeing that quick 3 CC. He's just kind of sticking to his guns.
Yeah.
A couple of Marines.
+1 on the way as well. And here's the push. I mean, it's going to be no +1 for Harstem. He will have the Colossus and it will have extended thermal lance, but Marauder's already out. Oh, look at this, catching the Phoenix. It's 2 of them already.
I did not think that would happen. Harstem was seemingly so aware that there would be something coming, right? But or at least of the numbers of Marines, he was aware.
Yeah, Bunny does see there that it is 2 Colossus. 3 are going to be added on soon. And once you get 3, of course, you're one-shotting those Marines. Does not want to take this fight right now. So second engineering base on the way. Has started up his armor, so he's going to be getting into 2-2 very, very quickly. And I think, yeah, a heavy focus on upgraded bio would actually be very nice for Bunny. Just try and get these units as efficient as possible. That's a 4th base already coming down for Harstem. Bunny, more and more units rallying out on this map, might start to look for some double prong pressure. This is the part of the game that it really did feel like Harstem was trying to avoid, is where Bunny can get out on the map, attack 2 places at once, You know, this is where Terran is the strongest when you're sitting up in this army supply. And so we'll see what Bunny can get done with it, because right now it is a very scary army for Harstem when it's together. With those 3 Colossus, 7 Zealots, nice snipe there onto the base is going to force the cancel. The other Marines as well. Now going to try and stim on in. The army not quite responding in time. Shield battery will go down before. Feels like Bunny's going to have to get on out, but no, he's just continuing to stim on forward. Widowmine going to knock down his Zealot. Going to try and get behind the mineral line now. He's actually doing a great job of it, because at the same time, once again, goes into that 4th base. Don't know if the Nexus was building yet, but gets 14 workers while distracting Harstem.
Yeah, I don't think the Nexus was building quite yet, but he did manage to get onto a couple of units there as well. And overall, the trading has been very positive for Bunny. More than double the overall resources lost here for Harstem so far. Quite a scary position now. The Widowmines are being taken care of. Harstem is starting to bulk up a little bit here with the heavier units of the Protoss, so hopefully for him, he's going to be able to start stabilizing onto the 4 bases. As Bunny is starting to add his own 4th base, +2/+2 coming in. It's, well, it's still looking pretty good here for Bunny, I would say.
Yeah, here we go. Bunny's actually just committing on in. The whole army isn't here just yet, but now it's going to come in as the Phoenix firing away at the front, and the Colossus are just too strong right now for Harstem. With the +1, they absolutely shred through this bio. Bunny going to continue to try and kite it out, but the Charge Lot just getting on top of everything. And he went in without one +2/+2, but at the same time, another army goes on in, finds a bit of damage, tries to knock down those Zealots. Still, it's so hard for Bunny to fight this army straight up with just the bio. The Colossus, the Archons, they just offer so much splash damage, and you just can't commit in when it's all bunched together.
Yeah, exactly. If there was a massive, wide open arc he could try to engage onto, it might be doable, but, you know, this is a map with constrictions, and some of those are these ramps here. And he's going to have to find a way to play around that. So far, Harstem has been on top of the rotation and kept meeting this army of Bunny in the correct areas. So he should be able to push him back here once again.
Yeah, I mean, Bunny, you're just fighting around the death beams of these Colossus right now. Doing so much damage, and Immortal is going to fall. Bunny, though, behind this has a 4th base that's already been established at 77 workers. His 2-2 is close to finishing. And he's now starting to add on Vikings. 2nd starport also on the way. Mind you, this game, Harstem has not been able to transition into Sky Toss. And that's the big difference, is because Bunny has been able to apply pressure, there hasn't been that much space for Harstem to get into the tier 3 tech that he was looking for in that game too, that was allowing to snowball that game. And that's just the Bunny putting on pressure and making sure that Harstem doesn't get to that point.
Yeah, I guess also just him going for the 5 barracks, right? Instead of going with Attack Lab, making siege tanks and cyclones that the Phoenix can pick up and still get some use out of those units. Instead, you're just faced with all those Marines and Marauders. It's just not a situation you can start building those Phoenix in anymore.
Yeah.
Disruptor needs to be careful. Okay, gets out of there.
And Bunny is still poking around, trying to find an opening, trying to find a fight. Now he thinks he might have it. EMPs go down. The Archons, all their shields are low. But Bunny, he needs to split. He's going to do so. Pulls back. Disruption Nova still gets so much value, but the Vikings from above knocking down the Colossus. Only one is left. Bunny still continuing to try and push it. Once again, dodges the Disruptor Nova as the Colossus goes down. And that's all 3 of them gone. Just the Disruptors left. Bunny, I mean, it felt like it was such a dangerous fight to take, but still goes for it and has just enough. I mean, has the 2-2 done and is confident in his bio. Takes down the Colossus, and now suddenly Harstem doesn't have that consistent source of DPS. Now it's very reliant on these Disruptors, which can be much more hit or miss.
Yeah, exactly. And if it's only Disruptors, you can dance around a lot more with those bio units. As you said, the consistency of that damage kind of drops. So, couple of Zealots for the run by. Marines are there with the production train just walking by. Other than that, well, we're seeing Bunny already going up to 5 bases here now, as Harstem is starting to slack behind a little bit. Dark Shrine coming up, that could be quite wonderful, but we're already seeing Liberators as well as the Liberator range coming up. Bunny 45 supply overall ahead on his opponent. That's just a lot of advantages here. It feels like for Bunny starting to line up, and one of those is catching these gateway units out of position as well. Already softened up now.
Here. As here we go, EMPs go down, all the Archons are low, they're gonna immediately get knocked down. Disruption Nova snipes off a Ghost. But Bunny's now ahead 60 supply in game 3. The massive bio army. He says, listen, I don't need any high-tech units to deal with this. I'm just gonna rely on my micro, on my macro, and the sheer power of my mid-game to try and force the issue. Third base goes down, or sorry, fourth base goes down. Bunny's continuing to push. Disruption Novas aren't available. Finally, one is going to go off, but the Marauders are still alive. The splits from Bunny are just godlike, and GG. Bunny is going to advance on to group stage